Hello, we are going over lesson 9-1. This is introducing chapter 9. So this is 9-1, 1 more, 1 less, 10 more, 10 less. So the first number that we're going to have here is the number 55. I'll underline it for you guys. And over here you can see that this is a visual representation of 55. We have 1. Let me count them out. I'll write the ones below. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 rods. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones cubes. So that is our number 55. So now we're trying to figure out what 1 more than 55 is. So if we want to figure out what 1 more than 55 is, we are going to add 1 cube or 1 circle that I have. So I'm going to add 1 circle here. And now we have 6 ones cubes. So now our number is going to be, if you look at our visual representation, we have 50 in the tens place, and then we have 6 in the ones place. So our number is going to be 56. So 1 more than 55 is 56. All right. Now we're going to figure out what 1 less than 55 is. So the key to doing this is always going back to that original number. So before I even start doing 1 less, I'm going to erase or take away that 1 cube that we added, because you always want to start back at your original number, which is 55. And so we are back at 55. Now we are going to be taking we're trying to figure out what 1 less than 55 is. So that means I am going to erase another ones cube because we're only doing 1. So you're only erasing a ones in the ones place. So now let's look at our number. We have 50 in the tens rods, and then we have 4 in the ones. So our answer for 1 less than 55 is 54. That is what our answer is from our visual representation. And remember, now we're going to go back and we're going to put our 55 back up there, because you always want to start back with that original number to figure out our 10 more than 55. So now we're figuring out 10 more. So we need to add a tens rod in to figure out what another 54 would be. I don't know why I did that. All right, so I just added another tens rod in, and I'll add it over here so you can see. So I just added a 10 rod because we're trying to figure out what 10 more than 55 is. So I added a tens rod, and now I'm going to put that this is our sixth tens rod. So now let's count. We have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the ones place. So our number is 6 tens and 5 ones, which is the number 65. So 10 more than 55 is 65. All right, and now remember, you always need to go back to your original number, 55. So I'm going to go ahead and erase or take this away. All right, so now we're back to our number 55. Now we're trying to figure out what 10 less than 55 is. So if we are trying to figure out what 10 less is, that means we're going to take 1 10 rod away, right? Because we're taking 10 away, 10 less. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that 10 rod. I'm going to erase this 5. And now we have 10, 20, 30, 40. So we have 4 tens and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones. So we have 4 tens and 5 ones, which is the number 45. So 10 less than 55 is 45. So using this visual representation helps us figure out what 1 more than 55 is, which is 56, 1 less than 55, which is 54, 10 more than 55, which is 65, and 10 less than 55, which is 45. So this is my example that I just did for you guys. And now I want you guys to do this problem with me, which is 67. So I want you guys to write this down on your paper because I want you doing this problem with me. So as you can see on this right side, I made my visual representation of 6 10 rods because we have a 6 in the tens place. and then I have 7 1 cubes or 1 dots. So let's figure out what 1 more than 67 is. So we already have, let's count, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tens, which is in 67. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me fix that war. All right. So now we're going to figure out what 1 more than 67 is. So we're going to be adding 1 cube in, or sorry, one ones block in, one ones cube in. There we go. So I'm going to add it right there. I'm going to put that we have 8 cubes or dots now in the ones place. So now let's see what our number is. We have 10, we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So we have 6 tens, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 ones. So 6 tens and 8 ones is the number 68. So 1 more than 67 is 68 from our visual representation. All right, remember, you need to erase that one that you added because you always need to go back to your original number, which is 67. And we have done that. So now it says 1 less than 67. So we're only taking 1 away. So that means I'm going to erase one of our ones cubes. And now let's see what our number is. We have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So 6 tens. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ones. So we have 6 tens and 6 ones, which is the number 66. So 1 less than 67 is 66. All right. Remember, we always want to go back to our original number, 67. So I'm going to put that back up. All right. Now 10 more than 67. That is what we're figuring out. So 10 more, we're going to be adding 1 more 10 rod in. I'll put it right there. We're adding 1 more 10 rod in because we're adding 10 more. So we're trying to figure out what 10 more is. So I'm going to add a tens rod in. So now let's figure out what our number is. We have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So we have 7 in the tens place. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 in the ones place. So 7 tens and 7 ones is the number 77. All right, now we need to go back to our original number. Remember, we always need to go back to our original number, which was 67. So I'm going to delete that extra 10 rod that we just put in. And now we're back to the number 67. Now we're trying to figure out what 10 less than 67 is. So 10 less, so that means we are going to have to take away 1 tens rod to figure out what 10 less is than 67. So let's count. We have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So we have a 5 in the tens place. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A 7 in the ones place. So 5 tens and 7 ones is the number 57. So 10 less than 67 is 57. So that was you guys doing with me. I hope that you guys drew out the tens rods, drew out your ones cubes, and you also wrote these out. You can also pause the video at any time to be able to, if I'm going too fast for you, to be able to write this down and fully understand it. All right, I have one more for you guys. I want you guys doing this one on your own. So go ahead and pause this video, draw out your visual representation, write out this 10 more, 10 less, 1 more, 1 less, so that you can figure out what the problem is. And then go ahead and press play because I'm going to go over it with you guys when you are ready. All right, so hopefully you guys wrote this problem down. We are going to go over this. So our number is 23. So we have 2 tens, and then we have 1, 2, 3 ones. All right, so 1 more than 23. I'm going to add 1 more ones cube. So now we have 4 ones. So now we have 10, 20. So we have 20 or 2 tens, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 ones. So 2 tens and 4 ones is the number 24. So 1 more than 23 is 24. Remember, we always want to go back to our original number, which is 23. And now we're trying to figure out what 1 less than 23 is. So if we're trying to figure out what 1 less is, we're only in our ones place. So we're going to be erasing one of our ones to take away that one less. And now we have 2 10s and 2 1s. So 2 10s and 2 1s is the number 23. All right, we're going to put our ones cube back up there because we need our original number, which is 23. And now we're trying to figure out what 10 more than 23 is. So I'm going to go ahead and put one more tens rod in here because we're trying to figure out what 10 more than 23 is. So I'm going to put that tens rod in. I'm going to write we have 3 10s now. 3 10s. So now we have 1, 2, 3 10s, and then we have 1, 2, 3 1s. So 3 10s and 3 1s is 33. So 10 more than 23 is 33. And now we're going to go back to our original number. Remember, we always need to go back to our original number, 23. So I'm going to erase that one that we added, that 10 rod. And now we're trying to figure out what 10 less than 23 is. So if we're trying to figure out what 10 less is, that means we need to take one of our 10 rods away. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. And now we have 1 10 left and 3 1s. So 1 10 and 3 1s is the number 13. So 10 less than 23 is 13. And I'm going to go ahead and put this one, I'm going to introduce you guys to a 120 chart. I'm going to go ahead and put our number on here. So we just worked with 23, right? This was our number we just worked with. So when you're trying to figure out, one more, one less, 10 more, 10 less, like we're going to be doing in this next lesson, you are going to be working on a directional pattern. So 1 more than 23 we figured out was 24. 1 less than 23 is 22. 10 more than 23 is 33. 10 less than 23 is 13. So as you can see, you're going to be making a directional pattern going right, left, top to bottom, or up to down in the next lesson. I just want to introduce this 120 chart because it helps you out with figuring out 1 more, 1 less, 10 more, 10 less. All right, I hope that helped you guys. Remember, you can always pause the video if you needed more time. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.